Hey everyone, I am filming with my GoPro. I haven't used this for vlogging before, but I've just unearthed it after 3 months of moving. Hi G-May, what are you doing? My goodness, it's been forever and I have so much to talk about. So I think I'll start with some story times to catch you guys up. Goodness, how far back should I go? About 2 years ago, my mom passed away. She had interstitial lung disease, and it was pretty brutal. And for those of you who followed me for a long time know, my mom was very abusive to me, and in the end she made sure to get extra kicks in, so it's definitely really brutal. My sister came out and her best friend became involved, and basically I was treated like a contaminant on the scene kind of thing, like she was getting her last digs in. Like I would go and visit her and she'd be cold and distant with me, and I was like, Mom, do you even want me here? And she'd be like, yeah, you can sit there, that's fine. Like you can be in the room, that's cool, you can just sit over there. It was really fucked up because all I ever wanted was her love, and in the end I was hoping we could lay things down and reconnect and everything, and it just, no, to her dying day she was really nasty and distant. And I remember, she was in the hospital for several weeks before she died. The downhill was, I guess, pretty fast. She had put off getting checked. She had had a cough for a couple of years that wouldn't go away, and I was always pushing her, go to the doctor, get this, oh no, it's just chronic allergies, whatever. Or, oh, I've always had this tickle in my throat, or whatever. And she never would get it checked out. And she would say, man, I'm out of shape. Like I go up the top of the stairs and I'm short of breath. And she just chalked that up to being, a couch potato and not keeping up with exercise or whatever. I don't know. Things just started getting worse, and she had function tests and all of that, and it showed that, her function was decreased, and she did have the biopsy that showed the ILD, and that there was nothing they could do, at that point. And so yeah, the end was her in hospital. She'd be in ICU, then she'd come out of ICU and I need a BiPAP, I guess, to help her breathe when she was really struggling. And they talked about putting her on a ventilator, but for those of you who don't know, like, a lot of the times once you go on, you don't come off, and so she fought to stay off. And I just wanted to be there for her and advocate for her. She wanted nothing to do with that at all. By the time my sister flew out, my sister chose to stay with her best friend. Her best friend and I kind of clashed. Anyway, over the years, my mom reverse victimized to people and told them that I was the abusive one, and so, yeah. And I even tried to make amends with the friend. Like, when she came to the hospital, I met her with outstretched arms and gave her a hug, and I said, I'm sorry for any, trouble we've had before, and I just want you to thank you for being such a good friend to my mom, and I apologize for anything I've done that was upsetting. I just wanted there to be peace at the end, for my mom. And she was like, cool, just don't yell at me and we'll be fine. Well, that happened because when Mom had her biopsy, from immediately after that procedure, her sats were extremely low and she wasn't coming out of it, and I was definitely very firm and stern and assertive with her about, okay, like, what is going on? Is she conscious? Does she, what does she need? Like, what do we need to do? It doesn't sound like she's fine if they're telling you she's fine, whatever. Hi, Jing Mei. Hi, Jing Jing. Hello, Jing Mei. Hi, Jing Mei. This is Jing Mei. She just turned a year old on the 10th. I'll just update you guys on. You haven't even met her. Unless you follow Eileen's Instagram, and then the puppies were on there up until her siblings got placed in their homes. Mommy's here too. Hi, Mom. Hi, Mom. Here's Mom. Say hi, Eileen. Okay, puppies. Where's AJ? Is AJ still sleeping? AJ's still sleeping. I don't need to sit or I'm gonna faint. So, give me a second. Let me just make sure this is recording well, and I'll be right back. Okay. No, baby, stay down. Stay down now, because I'm trying to tell a story. Okay? This is how Bondo works around here. Okay, you're gonna steal the show again, aren't you? Oh, you're just sleepy, Jim. You're sleepy. Yeah. Because everybody's gonna cry because it's unfair. Go on down. So after her lung biopsy, she never fully recovered. It went downhill pretty fast after that. My mom's friend brought her home, and that night, I believe it was the same night, things are kind of a blur, but she really was having trouble breathing, and she needed to go back by ambulance, and I believe her sats were like in the low 70s maybe, and she never left the hospital once she went in. It was several weeks before she died. Hi, AJ. Hi, big boy. It was really hard, mostly because she really seemed to be getting off on punishing me in her presence. Like, I'm very sick, and I have a lot of guilt because I wasn't able to do as much for her as she would have liked. But she told people that she couldn't reach me. Like, my sister lives out of state, so she would tell her she couldn't reach me, and I never came to see her. And the truth was that every single time I saw my mom, I asked her, do you want me to come stay with you? I will move in to the hospital and stay here with you. That'd be the easiest, because with my health, I don't know, like, if I'm having a bad day, I may not be able to get behind the wheel. I'd rather come and stay with you, so I'm here with you if you need me. She never wanted that, but she never told her best friend or my sister that I had offered that. Her story was that I was leaving her and didn't care, and so my sister came out, and my mom's best friend was very attentive, and basically she would ignore me, right? And finally one day I was like, Mom, do you even want me here? And she's like, yeah, what was it, like, I can't remember exactly, but it was basically like, yeah, it's nice, that you're present over there. That's fine. Like, I'm glad you're here, but don't expect me to be nice. The energy was very punishing and guilt tripping and negative, and I just tried to humble myself and tell myself, you know, rise above it and be the better person and just come with love and support. It's the end of her life. It's the least I could do. I'd like to think that in some way it was therapeutic for her to continue being nasty and derogatory and abusive to me because she had a place to focus her anger. You know, she was too young, you know what I mean? Like, but it hurt like hell. And I remember a couple incidents. The major disconnect for me was her best friend had brought this stuffed animal dog to her and said, you know, this is very special to me. You can't keep it, but you're welcome to have it for now. And I thought, well, that's kind of shitty, like bring a stuffed animal to somebody, but then not let them keep it. I don't know, I just thought it was weird. And so I went home and got a stuffed puggy, because my mom loves pugs too. And it was special to me because Mr. Empath bought it for me. It was for one of my surgeries or when I went on TPN or something. I don't remember exactly which hospital stay, but it was significant. Oh, AJ. Come on, AJ. Sit down, buddy. Sit. AJ rarely asks to be held, so I hate to tell him no when he wants to be with me. So I brought her that puggy and I was like, don't worry, this one you can keep. She moved rooms at some point, and when I'd gone to see her again, I was like, where's the little puggy? And she was like playing stupid, like, I don't know. And I was like, well, that was like very sentimental. Like, I wanted it to stay in the family, whatever. It was precious to me. And I don't know, maybe it got thrown out or something. Literally, just casually. Maybe it got thrown out or something. And I was like, thrown out? My mom was like, settle down, why are you so upset? You know, it was like, because I reacted, I was so hurt. That was such a fuck you. And I guess what the truth came out later, because I'd gone to the nurses, because they were acting like they had no idea. And I was like, can you call down to laundry or lost and found? Can we try and find this puggy, because it had high sentimental value to me. My mom was playing dumb. And eventually somebody admitted, I don't remember who, maybe it was my sister. But my mom's best friend had thrown it out, basically, because it was filthy, because it came from the house where mom got lung disease. That's a whole other story. They tried to blame my mom's ILD on the parrots. I had some birds. You may have seen videos of them, Rory and Skylar. Some of those videos are on my She Who Feels channel. That was the whispered story that, you know, was birds, and she wouldn't get rid of the birds, and so the birds caused this illness for my mom. Well, the lung biopsy showed, and the other tests they ran, it wasn't that. And what we found out later, much later, is that it was radon, and I'll have to tell a whole story about that too, but it was just one more thing to blame me for and guilt me about, you know. Why did it take you so long to get rid of the birds, blah blah blah. I still have a lot of pain about it, but when she threw that puggy out, to me, that was a really strong message. She was basically throwing me away. I mean, that's what it felt like. It was such a fuck you. You know, I did something nice so she could Anyway, it was such a fuck you that she threw it out. And then got angry at me when I was upset about it. Like, maybe it sounds trivial, but it sent a message. And I finally, my sister was very primed for a fight. We definitely had rivalry issues growing up and whatever, but I'm just over it. I'm over the drama. I'm over the bullshit. And if my mom felt most comfortable with my sister there, cool. So I told my sister, oh, by the way, yeah, my sister wouldn't stay with us. She stayed with my mom's best friend. I just said to my sister at some point, because the message was really clear that my mom just, I wasn't going to get anything positive from her, and I could tell that people expected me to flip out or cause a scene, or, oh yeah, she took my name off of the contacts on her board in her room. I'm a patient advocate, and always before, she would want me to talk to her doctors or ask questions for medical input because of my background. And so her completely taking me off the list was another fuck you. I don't want you to care for me at all. It was her choice. I mean, it was her choice. So there were a lot of things, and basically I got the message and I said to my sister, you know what, I get the message from Mom. I'm really not wanted, and I'm gonna just step back because nobody wants me around. Mom's friend resents the shit out of me. My sister obviously wasn't too comfortable with me. And my mom sure as hell had nothing nice to, sorry, AJ, my lap is too little for you, puppy. He wants to lay down. I'm sorry, bub, let me put you down. Hold on, baby. I love you. So, yeah, I just was like, I'm gonna step back. If Mom wants me, I am here. I am here. But I'm gonna take a step back. And I think she was pleasantly surprised. I mean, everybody was forewarned about me, okay? Like, even her medical team, which was such bullshit. Like, this pulmonology resident came in and we were talking, and he invited me to round with them. And in medicine, when doctors come to see you, it's called, go see their patients. It's called rounding, or going on rounds. And you discuss each case. And so they invited me because they knew my background. But the attending, like, it was totally clear. I could tell that he was forewarned about me being a potential problem and wanted nothing to do with it. So I just, being an empath, you can just sense things, and I could feel like this sense of foreboding animosity or something. I don't know, like, they were forewarned that I was the crazy troublemaker, okay, like, for whatever reason. No, that wasn't at all. Yeah, so we had met with social workers, and, you know, Mom made it very clear, I don't want you to be my caregiver, and I want to sell the house. So that meant that me and Mr. Empath would need to find somewhere to, and she called to say, I can't remember if she called or my sister called. I think I was able to say I love you. And I don't know if it was intentional or not, but I wasn't present for her last breath. I was called after the fact. Yeah, so my sister was in charge of the arrangements and neglected to remove Mom's rings, so those were lost, and those were heirlooms that were supposed to be handed down to others in the family. They were lost. When I saw my mom after she had passed away, I braided 3 locks of her hair and cut one for me, one for my sister, and one for my uncle. But I was numb, you guys. Like, I was relieved she wasn't suffering anymore. But she had so rejected me and so fuck you'd me. It was, I just was numb. I don't know how to explain it. I wish we could have made peace at the end. Anyone who's abused, that's all you ever want, is for the person to make peace with you. It's so stupid because you keep looking for something in the completely wrong place. Anyway, that's the story of my mom. So they wanted to sell the house as soon as possible, my uncle and my sister. So Mr. Empath and I found an apartment. It's really sad because our rent was more than the mortgage. Like, we had begged to be able to stay in the house and take over Mom's mortgage, and nobody was cool with that. Like, so we spent, I guess, 18 months or so in a 1-bedroom apartment. It was so difficult. We had to get a storage unit because we'd consolidated 3 people's belongings, like all of Mr. Empath's stuff, because he had moved to be with me, and all of my stuff from school and that, still, like, I'd gotten rid of a lot, but there was still some, and then all of my mom's, and my mom was kind of a hoarder, so the basement was like floor to ceiling boxes. It was horrible, like, but anyway, that's a whole other story. So that's about my mom passing, and I will make some more soon to catch you guys up more. But anyway, much love and be well, precious ones. Talk soon. Bye, guys.